Yo, what's going on, my brothers and sisters? Hope you guys are having a good weekend so far. Hope you guys are feeling good. In this video, I will be reviewing the Dead Space remake. This remake just came out not too long ago. I think late January it came out, and this was a remake that I honestly wasn't really excited for. I honestly didn't need, only though I feel like because I had recently played the Dead Space games on PC like 2 or 3 years prior, which I still feel like you can play the original Dead Space games on PC at least and still have a really good time, and performance wise it's going to be great because it's on PC. But yeah, if you only played it on console, I feel like this was a remake more catered towards them, because you ain't played it since '08. Since I had recently replayed the games on PC and they felt great, I didn't really need this remake, and I didn't honestly, especially after Callisto. This was not a remake that I was like willing to pay $70 for. This is a $70 remake. So when this came out, I was like, I might wait till a price drop or something. But oftentimes my viewers will buy me games because they want to see me stream it. So I'm like, okay, okay. If it's like for certain games though, I'll be like, nah, because that jump you getting like, I mean, I'm grateful for it. People literally buy me games because they want to see me play it. But like, it gets to the point where it's like, yo, I can't keep playing all of these different games because then it's hard to like finish some of them because they're always trying to get me to play this. I just recently beat the Dead Space remake this past week. And yeah, this will be my review for Dead Space. The original game, I believe, came out in 2008. Remake came out in 2023. So yeah, here will be my review for the Dead Space remake.
This is Senior Medical Officer Nicole Brennan. Medical is overwhelmed. We need help.
So let me start off by saying that, I mean, and if you was in the streams, you already know where I'm going with this. I honestly did not enjoy this remake like too much. I mean, it wasn't a horrible remake, but again, for the $70 price tag, I didn't even pay for this junk. I didn't even pay for it, and I still felt like, yo, you spent $70 on this so I could play it. I honestly did not enjoy that remake too much, and I'm gonna get into why. I actually think that the recent release of the Callisto Protocol actually damaged how I view Dead Space. How I view this game. My chat like to refer to it as, you have Callisto PTSD. And I thought that was hilarious, but there is some truth to that. Remember when Callisto like came out and people were complaining about it, but my first impressions of the game was, this game is nowhere near as bad as suckers is saying. Like, yeah, there's like stuff going on, but it's not like that bad. But then like, I kept playing it. I kept playing the game more and more. And even before Callisto came out, like, people were referring to it as Dead Space's little brother, or like the Dead Space clone, or like the Dead Space remake waiting room. People were saying all of that. And now playing this remake is like, I didn't realize how close gameplay wise Callisto really was to Dead Space, because again, I had played it like a few years back, but I had forgotten about it because you play all these different types of games. But now playing this Dead Space remake, I realized how close gameplay wise it feels to the Callisto Protocol. This go round with the Dead Space remake, a remake that I didn't even pay for, I had a tough time beating this game. And it didn't help that I was playing Hogwarts Legacy out of the same time, a game that literally is just fun and comfy to play. I'm trying to like balance. That's why I hate playing like multiple games at like the same time. Story wise, I never thought even with the original Dead Space, is that the game was really, it's not a game that I played for the story. It's a game I played for the atmosphere and the gameplay and how cool the necromorphs was and like the horror aspects. I thought that's why Dead Space shined and why it got so much attention back in 2008. This time, you know, playing the remake, the story, again, I wasn't a fan of it before, but I just found it way more uninteresting. The whole stuff with Isaac and Nicole, like, bro, I didn't care. Again, I didn't care about it before when I played it on PC. This time, it was damn near unbearable. Like this whole relationship, love between Isaac and Nicole, and you know, just them going back and forth, and her saying, "Isaac, make us whole." Like, I was just very uninterested. Shout out to AES because he's like a huge Dead Space fan. This man was like getting annoyed. He was getting annoyed, honestly, that I was like not enjoying the game. He was like, "You always complaining about this or that," but I didn't even expect to feel this way. This was all new emotions that I was feeling towards Dead Space. I mean, I think when I beat the game, I was like 15 and a half hours in, bro. The junk felt like I was like 35 hours. Like, I was like, yo, this game is dragging. I freaking beat the game. I'm like 15 hours in. Gameplay wise, again, going back to Callisto, there were times in like Callisto to where I was like, oh my God, I'm tired of fighting these suckers. Like, they just keep on coming time and time. You gotta like fighting them all off, and because in Callisto, out of the time at least, like the enemies took so much freaking hits. It was like towards the end of the game, it was like, oh my God, I'm tired of fighting these suckers. I felt like that in Dead Space because a lot of stuff in this remake showed me like how repetitive some segments in Dead Space actually are that I didn't notice before. So it's like a lot of Dead Spaces, you know, you have to go to this room to retrieve this thing, or you have to go to this room to turn on this switch, and you know, if you turn on that switch, it gets you through this door, or you have to go on the train to go here to get this and then bring it back here. And meanwhile you're doing all of that, they're dropping all of these necromorphs in like the room. I hate it when you would be in a room and then like it went red. Then you know quarantine is now in action. And every time something like that happens, a whole bunch of necromorphs will drop into the room and you have to take them out until the quarantine is lifted. They did that so often in this game, and I'm playing the game on hard mode. I still thought the necromorphs were like interesting and scary at times, but it just didn't feel the same. Like, you know, before it was like, oh my God, like, yo, you have to cut off their limbs and you suckers are still alive and they crawling after you. Like this, it just felt like, bro, just die. It literally felt like, bro, just die. Just constantly trying to stomp on these suckers and die, and then turn around and there's another one coming after you. Like, it just felt way more like annoying in this remake, and I was just so shocked of how I was feeling while I was playing this remake. I seen how in Callisto they had the whole thing to where like you could like grab the enemies, and it's pretty much just like stasis in Dead Space, to where like, you know, you can slow down, you know, the necromorphs coming at you and then try to take off their limbs and stuff. I feel like a lot of stuff that Callisto did, Dead Space does the same thing, just a lot better. But it's kind of still the same thing. So the whole thing with stasis and you can cut off their limbs and stuff, I still felt like the necromorphs are great, you know, in this game. But yeah, that horror aspect that I felt in there's something about, and I could not put my finger on it. There's something about the original Dead Spaces. I felt like it just had like a certain, I don't know what it was, but it just felt more scary. The atmosphere felt more like, yo, I don't want to go around this corner. Like, just the whole entire vibe of it felt different. This remake, I was getting tired of the necromorphs. Like, I was getting tired of fighting these, like, especially towards the end. Again, I felt like this game was dragging, but I beat it like 15 hours. That's short. And I was just like, oh my God, I gotta fight more. I gotta fight more of these suckers. Every time you will go into a room, turn a corner, it's like a necromorph drops in. You gotta fight them big suckers that take a whole bunch of freaking bullets. And then like it was literally getting to the point to where I literally had to like pretty much drag myself to finish the rest of this game. And again, this was all stuff that I did not feel when I played it back in 2017, 18 on PC. I was really enjoying like the game. Again, there were still times where I got like frustrated with the game because of the, because again of the difficulty, because I was playing on that on hard mode as well. But it was never like, oh my God, I have to hurry up and beat this game. With this remake, listen. I ain't trying to slander the good name of Dead Space, but I felt like Callisto really showed me, at least with this remake, how I don't want suckers to attack me. I don't want suckers to attack me. How maybe Dead Space didn't really age all that well, because yeah, this gameplay like just I just felt like, prior to Callisto existing, there was only Dead Space, and it was like, yo, people love this game, and the gameplay was great, and the necromorphs was great, and stuff like that. Now that Callisto exists, and Callisto, it was what it was, and you're seeing how Dead Space is literally like Callisto, but it's just better in, multiple aspects. The game didn't feel all that special. So it was like I was literally looking at Dead Space through like a new lens, because it's like, I just played you, but you're just slightly better now. You're just slightly better now. And that was stuff that I was not expecting to feel like playing this remake. Again, I didn't even plan on getting this remake when it came out, because I was not, there's very few remakes I feel like are worth $70. Hell, the best remakes that have come out, which I still look at, the RE2 remake and the FF7 remake, which is really a reboot, really. I still look at those as like the blueprints of what is a remake. So when a game comes out, and those weren't even 70, those were 60. So when a remake comes out and it's $70, I'm gonna be extra hard on it, because it's like, what have you really done? And another thing, like, this show had like multiple glitches. Times where you will like load up the game and it's just on a black screen, and it will not load. So you got to start the game over and do that. Other, times where there'll be like, little flashing like glitches, like glitches into the game. Yeah, all that. I'm giving this I'm giving this remake I give it a 6.5. I give it a 6.5. I just don't feel like, for the $70 price tag, unless you've never played Dead Space before, for this remake to cost $70, and especially if you played Callisto, I do not feel, y'all let me know if y'all felt the same way. If you played Callisto and then this Dead Space remake afterwards. The Dead Space remake came out, soon after Callisto. And honestly, I feel like now they should have delayed Callisto before this came out, but they didn't want Callisto to be mixed in with all of the bigger games of this year. So yeah, y'all let me know if you played Callisto and then this Dead Space remake, did you feel stuff that I felt? How like, yo, is it just me, or is this game like not all that good as I remember it being? Is it just me, or is this literally like Callisto just a little bit better? And it's wild for me to say this again, because I loved the first two Dead Spaces. This was a remake that I felt like in no shape or form should have been $70. I feel like at best this remake could have been like maybe 50 or something, but EA, they're gonna try to get as much money as they can. So yeah, I was just a remake that I didn't even spend my own money for. I could not condone find this remake for $70, especially if you played Callisto. If you never played Dead Space before, I don't think this is a remake that you won't enjoy. You know, if you are playing Dead Space for the first time, I feel like this is something you can enjoy. But if you have Dead Space on PC, if you just recently played Callisto, I don't think this is a remake you need to buy for $70. I don't feel like you want to call it Callisto P. You want to call it Callisto P. PTSD, like my Twitch chat was saying. You can call it that. I do not feel like after playing Callisto and then going into Dead Space that you will view Dead Space in the same light of how people viewed it back in 2008. And I know as time goes on, standards change, of course, but again, my first time actually playing Dead Space was in 2017-18. So it's really not even like I'm judging it off the 2008, like freaking 20 freaking years ago. No, I'm judging this like recently off of my PC. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts and comments down in the comment section below. Is Dead Space one of those games that was great at the time it came out and now these days not so much? You know, or am I tripping? Y'all let me know down in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And until the next video, my brothers and sisters, I'll catch you boys in my next one, all right?